Good day. This is Jonalyn L. Ragudo taking Bachelor of Secondary Education major in English. For today's video, I will be presenting my topic storyline about obedient. Throughout this video, I will be discussing about what is obedient, how a child develop obediency, and how it affects to people surrounds you. But before that, I will explain first what is cognitive development. Jean Piaget developed a theory that focuses the child's cognitive development, which are the changes occurring in the intellectual of a child, specifically the way of processing the information. During our childhood, everything we see and our elders do seem to be correct and right, but when we grow up, we were able to identify and disseminate the right and wrong. Under his theory, there are various concepts that identify the type and level of acquiring information. What is obedient? Obedient is a behavior that shows respect and being mindful or cautious with rules and laws. It is commanding or doing what someone have told to you to follow and must do. Teachers, cops, parents, and elders mostly appreciate obediency of an individual. Some example of being obedient is showing respect to parents, doing household chores without being told, and some way of showing obediency. How to be obedient? Everyone who appreciate obediency are capable of shaping and raising an obedient child. The first thing to do is you need to speak it softly. You don't have to shout. Tell them what to do, not do what not to do. Be consistent in your rules and encourage the child to acknowledge your instructions. How does being obedient affect the people? Children who are obedient have a positive future because they were able to command and follow reminders of elders that help them to develop of becoming a good individual. They were able to show respect to people and bring peace in a society. When an individual learned to be obedient, they were able to consider the needs of others and less selfish. They were able to adjust and fit to the people around them. People around us will be pleased, especially our parents, because they will be away from troubles. As you grow with an obedient environment, you adopt that characteristics and develop too. There are some instances that other people shows obediency towards me. I have my little brother, age 5, and whenever he calls me, asks for something, he always says ate before my name, and even just a little way of showing manners, but it is a big impact and influence on his development as he grow because he will able to bring it until adolescence life. Another instances is that when my sister wanted to borrow my dress, and she is mindful of asking permissions on me that she wants to use it for a while or she needs it and return after using it. That practice of asking permissions to things you wanted to use that doesn't belong to you is showing respect and obediency to the owner of that stuffs. Because asking permissions makes you realize if the owner allow you to borrow or not. And if you don't ask permissions, the owner might be mad at you, or whenever you broke it would be worse. Another one is my brother aging 14. During his leisure time, he go to our neighbor's house to play use of cell phone. And before he leaves, he asks permissions to go and to let us know where he is whenever we look for him. While playing, arguments of who's the best would never be absent, and sometimes it worse for hating each other. But when my brother sees trouble, he doesn't let himself in and interfere because it could just make the situation worse. Instead, he distanced himself and don't involve to the argument. With that taken action, he is mindful with what I remind to him to never get into fights and trouble. The last one is my brother again, age of 14. After school, some of his friends invite him to play in the internet shop, but he refuses and walk a long way to home. I remind him before to go home directly after class, and going home early will allow you to do help at house and do your household chores, do your assignments, and go to sleep early. There were a lot of things you can do and help if you go home early, and as a matter of fact, my brother knows that responsible of him as a son that he must obey. To sum it up, from the moment we exist in the society where there is a standard to obey and follow, from the very start, we have been enlightened to the concept that if we disobey, we will face the consequences that lead to suffering. And if we grow to the environment that used to obey and respect, it helps us to shape and develop of becoming an obedient individual. So as early as now, help yourself to follow and obey the reminders and commands of elders because it has a great influence in your future and aspect as a human being. So for the activity, write your reflection and instances that shows obedience towards you. This brings me to the end of my discussion. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.